Hi, I'm Dan from Intellijel. We've come down from Canada to visit NAMM this year with a bunch of new stuff. So I'll just jump right into it. Probably the thing that most people are going to be excited about is we have this new collaboration with Applied Acoustic Systems, which you may be familiar from their software, such as the Chromophone and Taskman. They've done amazing plugins for Ableton Live too. So they're actually a fellow Canadian company, and our first product together is Plock, which is a physical modeling percussion synthesizer. It's actually a small module, but very, very powerful underneath there. So as the name suggests, and as we described it, it's best suited for percussion type sounds. So I'm just manually triggering some stuff right here. There's 128 presets that you could load up. These are actually, you can select them by voltage control so that you can do pseudo multitembrality by sequencing and recalling a different preset on each step. You can see an oscilloscope to show what's going on with the waveforms. But let's just take this default patch that we've got going on here. I can show you some examples. So that was a beam resonator. We've got marimba, drum head. Whoops. So I'm touching something at the same time there. There we go. Plate, membrane, and the reason that's calling up is if I touch a knob while I'm doing that, it tells you what the setting is, and because my hand is right there, I'm doing that at the same time. But if I was clear, back to plate. So now we can manipulate these. We've got these macro controls that you can assign to do things. So right now this is in harmonicity, and this is the ratio of the mallet to noise. So there's a full exciter section model that has a mallet and a noise source with a filter and envelope. So between these exciter, resonator types, and the ability to control them by CV, recall them, randomize, there's a huge variety of sounds. You could get really natural acoustic sounds, but you could also manipulate them into totally alien things. We've been able to get interesting leads, basses, and just weird like bubbly sounds, all sorts of stuff to explore. So next I'll show you Tetrapod. And this thing is a custom-made force and position sensor. So it's measuring the position of my finger and also how hard I press. Unlike some of the other touch sensors on the market, which are capacitive touch based, this is fully. This is like I could take this hub and, oops. I could take random objects and make the move.
You can basically use anything to touch it. So
what we have are, so this is mode 1. There's different modes that you can recall. So let's say, I'll go back to 1 right now. This is a position and pressure, and it's latching. Now it's not latching. So wherever I let go, it goes back to 0. So I can quickly latch. If I go to, let's say this one. This is chord mode. I can recall chords. I've got these 4 columns, and on each chord, I get 4 pitches. I get pressure, gate, and trigger. And I can set the bass note, select the chord, invert it, and then rotate the notes. So do that, go to the next one. You could very quickly set up a song. And then there's an alternate mode, go like this. I simply have the bass pitch and then the offsets for each one. And so it's a simpler way to control it.
And these are all like quantized outputs?
These are quantized, but we have other modes that it's for preset recall, so that you can sort of morph parameters that you might want to modulate, like filter cutoff or something like that. We do have an expansion module planned for this that will allow you to do sequencing, more extensive preset recall. You can link 2 of these together without a brain, without like a core module, and they have I2C headers on them that will be compatible with mono products. And so in future, we hope to develop some integration with other devices like that. Next, I'll show you the Quad VCA, and this is 4 channels of VCA. Each one, like our micro VCA, has continuously variable slope or response. There is a boost switch, which gives you a 6 dB boost on the signal, and we have LEDs for indicating the CV. They're bipolar or dual color LEDs. These are normal together so that you can have one CV source control all of them, and you can break the normal by turning off the attenuator. The outputs are cascade summed together so that you could do mixing. So you could do sub mixes out of these or use all four. So basically this acts as a mixer, amplifier, and of course just your normal VCA duties. Finding it super, super handy to have in a system. It's pretty much essential at this point.
Yeah, great sat next to the Quadro as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're a perfect match, and that's why we put them like that in these cases. And actually, if we go next to the Quadro right now, you can see another unique one, which I believe there's nothing that can do this in Eurorack right now. It's called Shifty. So what I've always wanted to do is be able to take a sequence, like a monophonic sequence, and then have each step trigger a different voice. So in this case, it would need to, like if you wanted to do this with modules, you would need a bunch of sample and holds, CV controlled switch, sequential gate, all that stuff. We put that all together in one module, and I can set how many voices, so up to 4. So right now, let's just do 2 voices. I can choose whether the CV source is sampled, like, or if it's tracking, so that way you can get slides and stuff in there too. And if we turn up the So right now, I'm sequencing 2 shapeshifters. If I do 3, one of the voices is not there, so you're not hearing anything. It's missing that step. Same if I go 4. So we'll just stick to 2. I can change the direction. I can ping pong. I can randomize. And if I go to 1 step, it turns into an analog shift register. So you could kind of do the sequencing style that you'd find on the Korg Monopoly, and then the shift register mode, because it's digital, allows us to change the direction of the shifting and do all sorts of extra manipulation. Like we have scatter mode, we have the ping pong mode is actually, you go in one direction, and then when you fire a reset, it'll change direction. Manual button to advance through and to reset.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So what was the price on the 3 that we've looked at so far?
Sure.
The 4 that we've looked at so far.
So this is going to be $309. This is $299.
US, yeah.
Yes, and this is $189. I think this is going to be $159. And last of our 3 modules is we've done a new version of the Springway 2 Springway from scratch. The old Springway, which sounded great, but it was a voltage-driven tank. And without getting too technical, it just means that there was a limit to the frequency response we could get with low voltages of Eurorack. So we decided to change the design so it was a current-driven, and we wanted to totally change everything else that was under the hood to just go with that new redesign. So we got rid of the Ambler tilt EQs, and we put in a fully parametric EQ that you can control, so we can sweep frequency and the boost cut. When you're in a cut mode, you can actually get a phaser kind of response because of the heavy notch. It's got a Vactral, so an optical limiting circuit that actually boosts the signal quite a bit. Let's see if we have this going right now. So we've got the Planck going right now. That was feedback that was starting to go. So right now I've got the big tank down here. Drive it. So I'm going to cut it. Get the phasers type. Okay, and then in the 1U, we have a line in. We have this super handy module It's got a clock that can go into audio rates. It's also a probability generator, so like random pulses. Analog pink and white noise. They feed a sample / track and hold, which is also analog, and then that feeds a slew. So between all the little bits and bobs in there, you can get a variety of interesting control signals. And this is $100, $99. So you get a lot of value out of your small space. Buff mult. This is a really high quality headphone driver. Again, it's a new circuit. Very good bass response. Very, very loud. We've tested it on a variety of studio headphones. Totally essential for sort of rounding out the system so that you can listen clearly, but you could also use this to record stereo if you wanted to. So if you're trying to keep your system like fairly compact, you want to have a lot of audio I/O, you can have just one thing and switch between headphones. And there, if you can turn around, there's just behind you is one other 1U module, which is a digital reverb, and it uses a tank from Accutronics. And this is it's got a very interesting sound. It's kind of a lo-fi, gritty effect. It's inexpensive. It'll be priced at $69, and again, a great way to get just an extra little bit of color into your system. So I think that's covered everything. Oh yeah, one other thing. Much requested was 104 HP size of these cases, which we have here, and also we have a prototype of a soft bag. We actually took this on the plane to see if it would survive the trip, and fell out of a car and it was okay. So we're going to change the power supply in these ones and drop the price. And so these will be $500. And these will be like $639, and they'll be ready in a few months.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.